It's interesting. I went to West Point in 1982, only 7 years after the fall of Saigon, and a lot of the guys who taught basic training for me had fought in the Vietnam War. The United States military has this tendency to become really, really good at and study really, really well the last war we fought, and it's something we need to be better about. Obviously, I think we're trying our best to be better at that. But I say that to say, when I was at the academy, I mean, we were studying Vietnam, we were studying the people, we were studying how the war was fought there, the mistakes that the United States made, and it created for me a real heart for the people. My West Point classmate actually served in the MIA commission and traveled all over Laos and Vietnam, trying to find the Americans that we were not able to bring home. Again, just have a huge heart for that part of the world. And when I was a young lieutenant, took some master's programs in developing nations with a focus on Southeast Asia. So this conference, Mr. Chairman, this committee hearing is fantastic, and I really appreciate it. My questions are, of course, much like everybody else's, how China and nearshoring and all the things that are impacting our relationship with Southeast Asia. My first question to Mr. Sobolik. There's no doubt that America's supply chain is overly reliant on China. With regards to reshoring and nearshoring efforts, how can we reduce our reliance on China with minimal impact and disruption with what this massive shift that's been going on for some time to Vietnam and other countries in Southeast Asia?
Representative Green, thanks so much for asking that question. It is one of the most important ones, not just economically, but geopolitically right now. I think the reality is at some level, there is going to be some uncomfortable disruption. And I think one of the complicating factors of that is it's difficult to say for certain which countries and which interest groups are going to get the brunt of that. But I think a few things are important as we talk about reshoring and nearshoring, as you put it. The first one is going to be a consistent message to our Southeast Asian partners that, of course, fair trade matters a great deal to the American people, as successive elections have demonstrated. But the United States still does believe in free trade. And I think the reality is that our friends, allies, partners in Southeast Asia are going to be the greatest victors of free trade moving forward, or at least one of the greatest victors and reap the benefits of free trade. And it is to our strategic benefit that we nearshore a lot of the manufacturing we've relied on from China to our friends, allies, and partners there. And it goes to this fundamental tension that we've been discussing and directly and indirectly during this whole hearing, which is ASEAN's economic reliance on China on the one hand, and on the other hand, their security dependence on us. And we obviously need to play both sides of that equation, not just reasserting our dependability with defense, but easing their economic dependence on China however we can.
The questions that I have, because clearly we want some nearshoring to happen. We see, China's commodity boom created a run on the currencies in Latin America. And I'm the ranking Republican on Western Hemisphere, so this is my sort of area. And in so doing, made manufacturing in Latin America much more expensive relative to Chinese manufactured goods. And so the manufacturing sector in Latin America took a massive hit. This desire for, I think, a bipartisan desire. I just made a trip with Alvio Sires to Dominican Republic, and so there's this bipartisan desire to see some manufacturing come back to Latin America. One of the big concerns is, the supply chain for parts when something is assembled. And I'd be interested in understanding a little better how particularly the Southeast Asian countries are going to feel about and what their thoughts are going to be in support of being the initial sort of parts manufacturer that then get reassembled in Latin America as opposed to reassembled in China. What impact and how they're going to look at us after we try to pull that off?
Sir, that is a fantastic question. In full transparency, it's one I haven't given a whole lot of time to. So in respect to you, I would, if you're okay, sir, I'd rather take some time and circle back with your office and give you a better answer than try to give you something now.
Very much so. Appreciate it. Now you yield, Mr. Chairman.